Do you think that the narcissist that you were finally trying to get rid of is actually trying to get you back, or is suddenly being nice again? You might be a victim of what we call hoovering. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand what hoovering is, and you're going to have 5 ways to spot if somebody is actually trying to hoover you. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung, top 1% attorney and the best-selling author of the books Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free, a step-by-step divorce guide. And I've helped thousands and maybe even millions at this point of people to help them out of relationships of narcissism and drama and toxicity, and given them the tools and the step-by-step guidance on how to step into new lives away from these people, new breath of fresh air. And I do the same thing for you right here on these videos. So make sure that you've subscribed and you've hit that notification bell, and that way you'll get notified when I upload new videos and when I go live and I do events and all that good stuff. Now, let's talk about what's going on with narcissistic hoovering and those 5 signs of hoovering. So what is hoovering anyway? So hoovering is, it's either you've already gone into the discard phase of the narcissistic relationship, which is kind of like the end of a narcissistic relationship, or sometimes, you know, the discard can be starting like long before you're actually discarded, or you've discarded them. But you're into this phase of the relationship, and yet here they come back again. Here they, you know, it may be like it's been a year since you've heard from this person, and out of the blue you get a text from this person. And, you know, it may look like an attempt at reconciliation, or it may look like an attempt at actually valuing you again, or maybe they're finally seeing you for who you are. Maybe they're finally appreciating all of the things that you did for them. But it's really what it is a manipulation tactic. It's a way to get supply from you again. It's a way to, it's a very toxic way of getting you back under their web of control. So the first one is that they reach out because they are in a time of crisis. Oh my gosh, my father-in-law is sick, or my best friend is in the hospital, or I just, you know, had a health scare, something like that, where now all of a sudden they're in crisis, and so you have to come back and you have to feel sorry for them. You know, for some reason, there's something going on with them that has put them into victim mode again. Maybe it's a financial crisis, you know, and you are the only one who can help them. You're the only one who they can talk to, that they can go to. And this is after they've treated you terribly, were horrible to you, you know, weren't there for you ever, and now all of a sudden, you know, you're the only one who can help them, and they're in massive crisis mode, meltdown mode, and you've got to go running and be there for them. And you're supposed to just set aside any bad blood that ever took place, or you're supposed to just forgive anything that they may have done to you, because, you know, my gosh, don't you have a heart? You know, they're in crisis. Don't think about any of that right now. Just be there for them. I mean, don't you have a heart? You have to come back and be there for me. So that's just one of the signs that maybe you are being hoovered. Another sign that you're being hoovered is that they're declaring their undying love for you, or they're apologizing emphatically. So this is where, you know, you've said, okay, enough already. That's it. I'm done. You know, maybe they've broken it off with you and you were like, okay with it. But regardless, you know, they start seeing that their supply source is actually walking out the door. So now all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I love you so much. I can't live without you. I am so sorry. I will do whatever I need to. I will change for you. And this is where you might start seeing the narcissist faux apology, which is they say sorry just because they need to. And if you want to know more about the narcissist faux apology, you can check out more about that in my video called Do Narcissists Ever Say Sorry? You know, and of course they do say sorry sometimes. And you see this more from the covert narcissist, not as much the malignant narcissist or the other types of narcissists, but covert narcissists are the more smart, cunning ones. They're much better at covering up their narcissism. They're much better at looking like they are so perfect to the world, except to the person that they have targeted and who have been their victims. I know because the couple of narcissists that I had to deal with in my own life were both covert narcissists. And if you want to know more about covert narcissists, check out my video on the covert passive-aggressive narcissist. They are insidious and very stealth, very under the radar. And so these are the ones that you're going to see coming back and saying, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I never should have acted that way. You had every reason to be upset, and on and on and on. But then, of course, once they apologize and they get you back into their web of control and you're back where they want you to be, then whatever it is that they promised, whatever it is that they said they weren't going to do or were going to do, that just flies right out the window, and you're supposed to forget about that. And then when you bring it up, now you're just being difficult, you are being disrespectful, you're just bringing up the past, you're just trying to make it, you know, bring up stuff and be overly toxic toward them, when all you were doing was saying, hey, how come you didn't fulfill your promise to begin with? I mean, it's so messed up with that. But that's another sign, which is of hoovering, which is that you start seeing, you know, them running back to you, declaring undying love, and maybe even apologizing. So the third thing that you'll see is these random texts, these random gifts, and you know, these can happen. You know, I was talking about this a little bit in the introduction to this video, but these can happen like even long after you've no longer been in contact with them. Suddenly, out of the blue, you get a text message like, oh, watching our favorite movie, thinking of you, or something like that. Or I just had our favorite dinner, wish you were here, you would have loved it. Or maybe out of the blue, you'll get a birthday gift, something just shows up at your door, and suddenly your heart stops. You think, oh my God. I know I was hearing a lot of stories about this at the beginning of COVID, where people who thought that they had finally gotten that narcissist out of their lives, now suddenly a basket shows up at their house thinking of you. Here's masks and hand sanitizer and you know, something like that. Like, and this is the kind of thing that narcissists are so good at, because if you go to tell somebody in the outside world, hey, this person just left a basket at my door, and they're like, oh, what was it? Was it a dead rabbit? Oh no, it was hand sanitizer and face masks, and you know, and you think, well, what's wrong with that? That sounds pretty nice. But you know, as the person who has dealt with narcissism, and I know this is something that I had to deal with, it's like, that's not what it's supposed to be meaning. It's supposed to be like a warning sign almost to you, or it's a way to suck you back into their web of control and becoming that source of supply to them again. And so like this chill goes through your body, and you think, oh my God, I definitely do not want to hear from this person ever again. I definitely don't want this stuff from you. Please just go away. Please just get out, get away from me. Or sometimes it's like cruel in a way because it took you so long to get over this person, and it took you so long to finally not be thinking about them anymore, and then boom, there they are, showing up again, showing up in your text messages, or showing up through an email or something like that. And that is another form of hoovering. And if you have seen this, or if you've been a victim of hoovering, give me an OMG yes in the comments. And the next way that you know that you're being a victim of hoovering, or that you've been a victim of hoovering, is that you start seeing them showing up in random places. So, you know, all of a sudden, there they are at the grocery store that you always shop at, or you start seeing them at the gym that you go to, or at the yoga studio that you go to. And it's like so random, but not random. Like, oh, there you are. I didn't know that you shopped over here. You live on the other side of town. I remember that actually happened to my husband by his ex-girlfriend like 20-something years ago, back when we were first starting to date. And his ex-girlfriend would just be like showing up at the most crazy random places, like where he would be studying for the bar, and she would show up at this library that he randomly decided to go to that wasn't even near either of their houses. Like, oh, hi, just happened to be here, you know, something like that. And again, like that chill goes through your body, like, oh my God, there they are again. Or the other thing, the other way that they start randomly showing up is that they start becoming friends with your friends, or friends with your acquaintances. This is something that one of the narcissists in my life also did, was when this was an extended family member. So when my husband and I decided that we no longer wanted to have contact with this person, or tried to minimize the contact and have very strict boundaries, now this person was starting to you know, suck up to other people in our lives and suddenly become friends with people in our world, so that this person would be able to kind of like spy on us, and also sort of like try to show us how wonderful this person was, or that we are so wrong because see, the rest of the world sees how wonderful this person is. So that's another way of demonstrating hoovering. And the last sign of hoovering is probably the scariest sign, and this is where you're going to see a lot more about, you know, you'll see this much more from like malignant narcissists. The malignant narcissist and some of the more, you know, pathologically mentally ill narcissists will start stalking you. And that, I mean, yes, showing up randomly at the grocery store and saying hello is one thing, but really stalking you, and really, you know, doing things that they know are not, where they're not going to get caught, but you know that it's from them. So things start showing up in your mail. Maybe you're getting phone calls or emails from random numbers, random places. You know, I've seen clients where their exes, you know, knew a lot about cyber, you know, information, and they were able to create random emails that came from random IP addresses. And so, but, you know, and they would leave these messages, but it was really, really hard to trace these emails, or really hard to trace these texts, things like that, where you just start to be really scared for your life and concerned for what this person may or may not do to you. And in addition to the stalking, what you might also see is like a gaslighting move, which is really kind of like a sixth thing, which is like, oh, this discard never happened. We didn't agree to break up. We didn't agree to no longer be in each other's lives. One of the like more bizarre things that I've seen with narcissists is that you've had this horrible breakup, and then they come back and they start making comments on your social media or other people's social media where something's been posted about you, and they say, oh, you know, this is so great and you're so wonderful, and they just act like that thing that happened between you or the long history of things that happened to you never happened. So it's kind of like a gaslighting of the discard phase. So those are all the different signs of hoovering. It can be really confusing, especially if you're working so hard to get over that trauma bonding. And if you want to know more about trauma bonding, check out my video on trauma bonding. But you've tried so hard to get this person out of your brainwaves and out of your neuronal patterns and trying to move on. And you've gotten so far down the path and you're finally making progress and you're finally getting to a point where you're getting on with your life, and then here they come again. And they do that because there's still some supply to potentially be sucked out of you, so they come back. And remember, even seeing you squirm, seeing you upset, seeing you you know, angry, emotional, they get supply from that too. So regardless of you know, even if it's not just thinking that they're wonderful, they do get supply from seeing you upset. So if there's any amount of supply to be had still, here they come hoovering back into your life again. If you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist, make sure to grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet. You can just get that at winmynegotiation.com, and we'll also make sure to drop a link to that below. If you like this video, give me a like, give it a share, especially if you think it would be helpful for somebody, if somebody's dealing with hoovering, and drop me a comment. Again, as I said, if you have seen this before, give me an OMG yes. And if you've seen other types of hoovering, drop a comment about that below as well. And make sure that you have subscribed, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. If you do want more support, if you're feeling very isolated, if you're feeling very alone, come join me in my free private Facebook group. It's called Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung, and we will drop a link to that below as well. I'm so glad that you stopped by my channel. If you're dealing with a narcissist, as you know, I send you light and love and blessings. It sucks on every level, and that's why I am committed to giving you the best information. Not just here's what a narcissist is, but here's step-by-step guidance on how to get out of this relationship in a way that allows you to feel whole, that allows you to feel complete, that allows you to go on with your life. So glad that you're here. I'm Rebecca Zung. Remember, today's a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'll see you in the next video.